We are here with Patreon supporter Sieghart, here to have me evaluate Cardfight Vanguard cards. I've only played this game one time, and it was for like a week or two, and it was, what year is this, 2024? It was probably 11 years ago or so, so there's a lot of things that have changed, there's a lot of things I don't know, / have forgotten, and give me a little bit of a background on how much card experience and card game experience you know, Sieghart, and also how much Vanguard experience you know.
Oh, okay. So, I believe it was 2014 when I started playing Magic, and I played pretty hard competitively in that standard until like the first Ixalan block. And then after that, when Oath of Nissa rotated out and there were no fun decks to play, I just found Vanguard from a convention, and I've been playing that since like 2018. So I've been in it for a while.
Nice. So as soon as Oath of Nissa rotated, you're just like, nope, can't do it. I'm out.
Naya Walkers was way too fun to like play anything else after that. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
You can still play Naya Walkers without Oath of Nissa.
Yeah, but you can't run like Blue Bant Tameo in it.
No, you can't.
Without that.
Tameo Field Researcher, I think I remember the name of it.
The one that gave you Omniscience?
Yes.
I love that guy.
That's the one. Okay.
I love that card.
Yeah, no, I love it too. There's a lot of old school cards like that. I call it old school, but it was like, not new school.
Yeah. You call it old school. I was 14 when I started playing, so I don't know if that ages you that much, but...
No, it doesn't age me at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start doing some Vanguard cards, and if I have any questions, I'll for sure ask you. We have 6 different clans, so it is, just to let you guys know, it is like the Colors of Magic, or 6, they're not called clans, they're called something else. They're called Nations, and those are kind of like the Colors of Magic. So we're going to do 3 cards from each nation, from each color, and see if we can evaluate how good or bad these cards are, or how well they work together, or, however you'd like me to evaluate them.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's basically it.
Okay, let's start. So are they going to be, like, either really good or really bad, or are they going to be, or am I going to, like, tell you at the end which clan I think is the better one, or which nation is the better one?
Yeah, so I'll just show you the boss unit, and then 2 cards that support that boss. I think there's like 4 answers I'll accept. There's just like, it's bad, it's fine, it's good, and it's busted.
Okay, bad, fine, good, busted.
Yeah, and that's for the deck as a whole from just these 3 cards.
Okay. I'm going to be going like a little bit rapid fire since there is 18 cards to go through, and I'm going to try to make this video a little bit under an hour for you guys. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the first card. Jesus Christ. This art. Anyway.
Are you gonna get demonetized because of this?
Probably not. I won't.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. I'll have the one yellow word in my thumbnail say demonetized ? No. And put this on the front of it. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have Fountain of Knowledge Eva. This is a 3-grade twin drive. What does twin drive mean again?
So when it attacks on your Vanguard circle, which all these boss units are only ever going to be there, it means they do 2 drive checks instead of 1.
Okay, and we all know why this card has twin drive. We also what's the symbol underneath?
Okay, yeah, that is new. So all but maybe a couple of these will have this symbol as a boss unit. It just means that so when you go up to grade 3 on your turn 3. Every turn after that, if you have another copy of this card in your hand, you can just place it on top of the one you played the last turn, and it's what's called a persona ride, which it gives you, the player, the ability that your front row gets 10k, and you get to draw a card.
Okay.
So just like a front row power buff for the turn.
Okay. And you can only do that once per turn, or you can do it like anytime you have a persona ride?
You can do that for as many times as you can... as you have extra copies of your main boss, which this is a 4 card per 4 copies per card game. So
okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it is good.
There's like way too many innuendos with this card, like persona ride. Like, come on. Anyway,
hey man,
I know, right? It's like, anyway, Fountain of Knowledge Eva. It says act. What is that? Once per turn.
Yes.
Okay. And the blue
act just means you do it in your main phase.
Okay. The blue thing means that you have to flip over a damage you've taken in order to use this ability.
Yep.
Okay. Look at the cards. Look at cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of research cards in your order zone. What is your order zone again?
It's above your damage zone now. It's where like set orders go, or just any order you play, really.
And those orders are like non-creature spells?
There is one I'll show you. Yeah, there is one I'll show you.
Okay. Look at the top cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of research cards in your order zone. Choose up to one card from among them. Put it into hand. Put the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. And this unit gets plus 5,000 until end of turn. Plus 5,000 seems like a lot. Auto, when this unit attacks, you have to do the thing again. And what is the red one?
So the soul. So that's going to be any of the cards under her.
So you detach from the seed material from this, and then you flip over one of your, what is it called again? Damage. Okay. Flip over damage, and then you detach the material. Search your deck or hand for up to one card with Obscudiad. That's it, right?
Close enough.
Obscudiad?
Yeah.
And its card name, and call it to, what is R?
So that is any zone, that is any monster zone that's not the Vanguard circle. Which, if you notice in front of these abilities where it says like auto, and then before the ability starts, it has that little symbol there with the V in it. That just means she needs to be on the Vanguard circle for that ability to happen. So
okay, if you search the deck, shuffle the deck. Okay, what do I think about this card? I mean, obviously searching your deck, I think it's good. Look at the top card of your deck equal to the number of research cards and put it into hand. Like that seems good. The fact that you have to take damage before you do this is like, whatever. I don't know how expensive 3 grade is. Adding 5,000 seems like a lot. I don't know how big 13,000 is in the big scheme of things. It has critical 1, which means what? If you flip it off the top of your deck when your opponent attacks, it crits them? Or is that like when this attacks, it crit damages them?
Yes, almost everything in the game has 1 crit, which just tells you that if it wins a battle, it does 1 damage.
Okay.
To a Vanguard, yeah.
Let's see. I mean, I guess there's no really way for me to evaluate this without seeing the other cards in it, right?
Sure.
So I'm going to say I think this card is really good. Let me see the next card though in this nation. And what is the nation called in here?
This is Brantgate.
It's like
the sci-fi themed one.
All right, the next card is Knight of Blackness Obscudiad. Am I saying Obscudiad right, or is it Obscudiad?
I think it's Obscudiad. That's how I say it, but
okay.
Yeah.
Obscudiad. This strike will cut through your regrets. All right, it's got 3. Yeah. It's got 3 grade. It's got Twin Drive, and it's got Persona Ride. Okay. Auto R. When this unit attacks, if your order zone has a set order, this unit gets 5,000 plus 5,000 to the end of that battle. If it has 3 or more set orders, it gets plus 10,000 instead of plus 5,000. It's got, what is that word? Glit Eva?
So that, you can really ignore it. It just means that it only gets the second ability if your Vanguard is Eva. That is all it means.
Is that glitter? Does that say glitter?
Yes.
Okay.
It does.
Let's see. It's got glitter Ava. Auto. When this unit is placed on R by a card's ability, if your order zone has 3 or more research cards, this gets plus 1 critical until end of turn?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have summon sickness in this game?
No.
Okay. Continuous. Cont is a continuous effect?
Yes.
Okay, so it's always applying. What is G? Like a guard? Like in the bottom back row or whatever?
So let's say you're attacking me with anything. If I don't want your attack to hit, I can take cards from my hand or cards on my board that have intercept and guard with them, and their shield value you haven't seen any cards with shield value yet, but their shield value will add to my power for that attack.
Okay,
I can block it.
Okay, I can understand that now. Yeah, that's in a lot of games. This unit gets intercept and shield plus 10,000. The fact that Ava gets to put this from the deck into play to trigger its second auto to get a critical and there's no summon sickness.
Correct.
My God, I'm gonna say that's like pretty good synergy. Let's see the third card and let's try to wrap this up in a bow.
Probably the only non-creature card I'll show you.
Okay, this one doesn't have twin drive, weirdly, because it probably should. After a set order is placed, put it into your order zone. I'm just gonna make that joke constantly. Like,
sure. I thought you were saying like, oh, because there's 2 people in the art.
No, that's not why.
Yeah.
Okay. Grade 1. I'll protect you as you had protected me then. All right. After a set order is placed, put it into your order zone. So this is an order. This is an order.
Yes.
Okay.
This is like an enchantment.
Okay. And this is the thing that you could have in play when you need to trigger the other two's abilities. This is the card that you need.
Yep.
Okay. How many of these are
Yep.
in the game? Like a lot?
Now a lot. There's a lot, yeah. And there's a couple. Specifically, this deck references research orders, and there are a couple. This is just the quickest one to get out because it's grade 1, so you can play it on turn.
How do I know if this is a research order? Oh, I see on the bottom left.
You gotta get your magnifying glass. Yeah.
Yeah, I could not see that. Okay, so this is a research order because it says on the bottom left, result of the experiment henceforth. I don't know why when I read the word henceforth, I try to do like an English accent. I just like to say henceforth. Okay, play this if your graveyard is graveyard. If your Vanguard is a Ava in his card name with an exclamation point. Yeah. What? It's like, please play this.
There's a lot of exclamation points.
It's like, play this card. All right, continuous order zone. All of your rear guards with obscudade.
There you go.
Okay, and that's such a weird name. Anyway, in their card name, all of your rear guards with obscudade in their card names cannot be retired by your opponent's card effects or destroyed. Is that what retired is?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems good, but it also seems bad at the same time because like you're using a card to like just give your rear guards indestructible, which is like maybe not worth the card. Okay. Act order zone. If your order zone has 4 or more research cards, put this card into soul. Flip one of your.
That symbol is turning a face down damage face up again, so you can use it.
Okay,
again.
Turn the damage face up. Choose a card with obscudate in this card name from your drop. What's the drop? Is that the graveyard?
Grave.
Put it in your hand. Oh my gosh! I mean, that's a pretty good ability. The fact that this card replaces itself makes it good, in my opinion. How many of your how many is 4? Like, is that a lot? Let's see. Research cards. If your order's on the 4 more research. So I'm assuming you would just play like a billion research cards in this deck because your whole deck works off research cards. You can put the other card into play. Yep. You can play this. It gives your stuff indestructible. You can put it into your soul. You have soul abilities. I'm just seeing a lot of synergy here. Choose a card with obscurity in this card name from your drop, put it in your hand. So even if someone kills like your Knight of Blackness obscurate, you can just like bring it back from your drop with the result of the experiment henceforth. Also, that card's art is literally in the back of the card.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, please put me together with an exclamation point. Like without seeing any other archetypes or any other, what's it called again? Any other countries? Nations. Countries. Provinces. Without seeing any other nations, I think that this Ava card is busted. But we can reevaluate as we see new nations.
Sure.
If you're showing me all nations in all tutor deck or whatever, I'll have to reconsider. But like, tutoring is broken.
Sure. Okay.
Our second nation.
So this nation is called Dark States. They have a very big focus on the soul.
Okay, this one focuses on the soul. Diabolos, Unrivaled Bruce. Yugioh has a Diabolos card. It's 4 grade, triple drive. What does that mean?
It means it has 3 drive checks. It's pretty self-explanatory, I think.
3 drive checks. Wow. 3 drive checks.
So, and remember, drive checks go to your hand after you check them.
So whenever you attack, you have to check 3 times and then put them in your hand?
Yep.
And then if they have a critical on it, you get an extra critical?
Or just any trigger. There's also like draw triggers that just draw you a card, or like cards that can heal your damage, you know.
Oh, it's pretty broken.
It's pretty good.
Okay. Auto, if it's in your... Is that a V? If it's in your Vanguard? At the beginning of your ride phase until end of turn, you final rush. What is a final rush?
It's a state you can be in.
Oh, okay. It's like you get berserk, and then your deck's gonna work off a final rush, I guess. Okay.
Yes.
Auto, Vanguard, once per turn. At the end of the battle phase, this unit attacked if you are in Final Rush. Makes sense. You can flip one of your... You can blast one, which is like flip it face down. And then you can...
Yep.
Red Blast, which is... What is it? What again?
Soul. The Soul.
Soul Blast, okay. Is that what you call it? Soul Blast?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What is the up arrow? Oh, untap.
So it untaps them.
Okay.
Yep.
Untap all your front row units, and this unit gets drive -2 to end of turn. Drive -2, which means it like gets single drive after it triple drives.
Yeah.
Okay. If you untap with your front row, can you attack with them again?
Yep.
And you have to attack, right? I assume.
Yeah.
It says 13,000. It's a normal unit. Dark States. Demon.
I think the one thing you missed was the number next to the red symbol.
What number is that? I can't even read it. It's blown up on my computer. I still can't read it.
That is Soul Blast 5.
Wow. Oh. Soul Blast 5. You have to detach 5 materials from this? How do you get 5 materials? Oh, this deck works off getting materials. Okay. Okay. Let's see the next card, and we'll see if I can put the pieces together on this one. I'm noticing that these have a little bit more text than the twins do. Okay. This is 3-grade Twin Drive Persona Ride. Auto, if it's in your rear, if it's in your back row, right? Yep. R? Once per turn?
No, so rear guard is any circle that's not the Vanguard.
Okay.
There are rear guard circles in the front row, which is not confusing at all.
No, not confusing. I got it the first time, actually. When this card attacks a Vanguard, what's the black symbol there?
It's just his cost.
Oh, cost. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you can Blue Blast, and this unit gets plus 2,000 until end of turn for each card in your damage zone. 2,000 for each card in your damage zone. Okay. If you have a Vanguard with Bruce in its card name, Red Blast 1 for every 2 cards in your damage zone. So this kind of like wants you to be damaged?
Yeah, but this is not soul blasting, this is soul charging. Which is taking the top card of your deck and putting it into your soul.
Oh, that's much better. Put a card in your soul for every 2 cards in your damage zone. So you kind of want to be damaged. You have the same number of cards that you did this by this effect from your soul and call them to open rear guard. Oh, wow. That cheats stuff into play. Right? Am I reading that right?
Yeah, you're right.
So once per turn, you attack the Vanguard, you flip one of your damages face up, and it gets plus 2,000, so it's 15,000 for each card in your damage zone. If you have a Vanguard with Bruce in its card name, you charge 1 for every 2 cards in your damage zone. So let's say you do it like twice, if it's like mid-game or whatever. How many damages do you get until you lose?
6.
6?
So the max you can ever be at with this guy and not be dead is 5.
Okay, so it's kind of a setup card, but also requires you to have taken damage. So that actually seems kind of medium. But the fact that it cheats stuff out, send cards by this effect from your soul and call them, which means you don't have to pay for them at all. So if you put a card in your damage, so if you charge 1 and it's like a broken like 13 grade or whatever, then you can like just put it in your soul or just call it for free.
Yes,
that's stupid.
Now, this is like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Like there's no cost to playing cards in this game. There's not even like a normal summon limit either.
Oh, then what's the grade then?
The grade just means that your Vanguard has to be that grade or higher for you to be able to play it.
How do you get a grade?
So every turn on your Vanguard circle, you'll go up in grade by 1.
Ah, okay.
Like at the beginning on like your upkeep step, you go up by 1 in grade. So, like this Bruce guy, he's grade 4. You literally can't get to him until turn 4.
Okay, interesting. Okay, let's look at the last card. This is Diablos Returner Derek, 2 grade intercept. Nice, so it can use the 5,000 on the left hand to shield. Yep. Continuous rear guard. If you're in Final Rush, this unit gets plus 5,000. Okay. Action rearguard once per turn. You can flip one of your damages face up or face down. Face down or face up?
down.
Face up?
Face down.
Face up. Face down.
Yeah, because they enter your damage zone to face up.
Oh,
and
got
then
it.
these
Okay.
ask you to put them face down.
Okay, so flip them face down and put a rear guard into the soul. Put a rear guard into the soul. Got it. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards for every 4 cards in your soul and retire them. Whoa. Then if you're in Final Rush, look at the same number of cards on top of your deck as the number of your opponent's open rear guards. Choose any number of unit cards. Open means untapped?
Open means they don't have a card on them already. On that zone.
Oh, got it. Open rear guards. Choose any number of unit cards from among them. Call them to the rear guard and put the rest into soul. I'm going to read that again. Then if you're in Final Rush, choose one of your opponent's rear guards for every 4 cards in your soul and retire them. Let's say you have 4 cards in your soul. Let's say you're 7 or whatever. You can only do it once. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards for every 4 cards in your soul. So you choose the rear guard and then just destroy it. Then if you're in Final Rush, look at the same number of cards on top of your deck as the number of your opponent's open rear guards, which is at least 1 because you just destroyed something. Choose any number of unit cards from among them, call them to your rear guard, but oh my gosh, this cheats into play too, right? Just special summons it onto the board. But you have to not hit a non-creature spell, right? It's like only a creature spell, that's what a unit card is?
Right. Yep, that's correct.
I mean, this kills stuff and special summon stuff, and and it's a shield. Like, it doesn't have super high power, but it does get plus 5,000, and it's like pretty easy for you to get to Final Rush, right? Because the first thing says at the beginning of your ride phase until end of turn you Final Rush. So like, what's a ride phase?
Ride phase is just the phase where you go up in grade at the beginning of your turn.
Okay. I mean, I like interacting with your opponent. That seems really good. I mean, I'm going to say that this country for now is like pretty good, except for it doesn't search your deck like the other one does. But it does destroy stuff. It's more interactive than the other one. I don't know how often you're going to get like a huge soul, because like your opponent could just kill your card with a bunch of souls under it and like you lose all the souls. But this does,
no,
you know?
Okay. So your soul is only under your Vanguard. If your opponent attacks your Vanguard, it does them damage. That is all it does as far as interacting with your opponent's Vanguard. If you attack like your opponent's rear guard in their front row and you beat them there, it just destroys that card. The Vanguard can never leave. The Vanguard never leaves.
Okay, so the soul just gets to stay there forever, which is like pretty cool. I would say you have to like, there's nothing in the, I guess there's, wait, did the other card put multiple? I'm looking for a card that puts multiple cards in the soul, or else or maybe these cards just do it one at a time over and over again. Soul charge 1 for every 2 cards in your damage zone. Read Diablo's Diver again. For every 2 cards in your damage zone. So in the mid game, like say you have like taken 4 damage, then you just like put 2 cards in your soul, and then you can call them. But like putting the soul in and then calling them isn't like keeping cards in your soul.
It does say up to.
Up to, so you don't like have to do it. Right, so, and then this last card, Diablo's Returner Derek, says like flip 1 up and then put a rear guard into your soul, so like you can like keep doing that. I'm not sure like how fast you can kill in this game, or how fast even your opponent can take your damage, but since there's no summon sickness, I would think that it's like pretty fast. And this seems like it doesn't put like 3 cards into your soul or whatever at a time, or maybe you can, because you said there's no limit to the things you can summon in a turn. I'm gonna say this is like pretty good, but I think the first archetype is better, but I'm gonna say this one's still pretty good. But let's go to the third one.
Okay, so this is Dragon Empire. There's a lot of dragons.
Oh my god, it's
they
so
have
much
a
text.
really big Yes, this one, it does have a lot of text, but once you I think you only really need to read them once, and then you kind of get it.
Okay. This one is Scarlet Flame Martial Dragon Gandiva, and I've never seen this much text on a card, I swear to you. It's 3 grade, Twin Drive, Persona Ride, Auto, Vanguard. When your opponent's rear guard is retired during your turn, choose a card from your drop, and you may bind it face down. What is binding?
Binding is like exile
Okay.
or banish.
Okay. Continuous. During your turn, all of your front row units get plus 2,000 for each face down card in your bind zone. Oh, I get what this deck is doing. If your bind zone has 5 more face down cards, this unit gets 1 critical. Vanguard once per turn. You can 1 blue blast and choose 5 of your opponent's rear guards. 5 of your opponent's rear guards with different grades from each other. Okay. Reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Retire all the chosen units with the same grades as the cards revealed. Shuffle your deck, and if you retire 1 or less cards, draw a card and choose a card from your drop and bind it face down. So it kind of has a payoff if you don't kill a bunch of things, but it also has a payoff of like you can kill a bunch of things. So like I think that's pretty strong. I mean, killing stuff's good. I like killing stuff. So let's go ahead and see the next card in this Scarlet Flame Martial Dragon Gendiva archetype.
That is the most text I will have you read today.
That's the most text?
Like by far.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 grade, Twin Drive, Persona Ride. God, everything has like Persona Ride. Crazy.
I'm showing you a lot of grade 3s, yeah.
Okay. When this unit is placed on... Wait, I gotta read the name. Scarlet Flame Bow General, Stirgna. When this unit is placed on rear guard, if you have a Vanguard with Gendiva in its card name, you can detach 1 material from your receive material, right? Attach 1?
Yep.
Okay. And bind 1 other rear guard face down from your board?
Yes.
Oh my god. Choose 1 of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. If you did not retire a card, draw a card, choose a card from your drop, and bind it face down. This kills stuff too.
Yep.
I like killing stuff. Okay, let's go to the next card. Okay, this one is Dragritter Alphacar. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 grade, intercept, 5,000, shield, auto, rearguard. When your Vanguard with Gendiva and its card name attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, you can detach 1 and bind this unit face down. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 grade 3 or less unit from among them. Call it, just special summon it, shuffle your deck.
Yep. So the important thing about that is that like this can attack, and then your Gendiva can attack, and you can get more than 3 attacks because that's the most the zones let you get attacks from usually.
Oh, I get it. So you can only attack with your front guard, your front row, and then but this can exit your front row and get something else, and then attack with the next thing after you attack with it. That's pretty cool. This is like a mid-range deck. Like it can be aggressive, but it can also be like kill your opponent's stuff. And I love mid-range. The top 5 cards of your deck, use it to 1 grade 3 or less unit, call it shuffle. I mean, that seems pretty good, and it has intercept. I'm gonna say this deck. I mean, this deck might not be the best one that you showed me, but it definitely is the coolest, and I think this is my favorite one so far. So, I think this one is like I think this one's also good. Like all these cards just do so many things. It's hard to say anything's bad. But let's see. It puts a lot of cards into your drop. Like, I mean, not in your drop. It binds a lot of things. It also it exiles your own stuff. It kills your opponent's stuff. Your stuff gets plus 2,000 for each face down card in your bind zone, which is pretty cool. The last card we read puts a card face down in your bind zone. And if you have 5 or more than what your deck is supposed to do, it gets a critical. Already has 13,000 attack. And also it has 15,000 basically because it gives itself 2,000. You can like do the last ability of the Scarlet Flame Martial Dragon Gendiva, and that's like bananas. Like if your one has like a grade 1 or whatever, a couple grade 2s and a grade 3 and like whatever, you just get to like blow up their board like whenever you want, just once per turn. You just get to do that. But like you can blow up their board, and if you don't, you still draw a card, which is like, and then you also bind something face down from your drop. So like I feel like it's cohesive, and I also like killing stuff. All right, let's see the 4th one. This one is Mythiarch Luruthzul.
I know, yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, close enough. Yeah, close enough.
Mythiarch Luruthzul. That is a mouthful. Yep. This one literally looks like the spitting image of Altaria. Yeah. It's like Altaria and Articuno are like, they're like, oh, let's just make this card and make them both that card put together. Anyway, it also could be, what does Phoebus evolve into again?
Milotic.
It's like those three put together. All right, 3
Yeah.
grade Twin Drive Persona Ride. Auto, when this unit is placed on Vanguard, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 3 or less unit card from among them, call it to your rear guard. There's a lot of special summoning in this game. And shuffle the deck.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of special. This is like Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! But not.
Yeah.
If you have 5 or more units, your opponent... What's up?
It's every Yugi boomer's dream. It's like that game, but no hand traps.
Whoa. Crazy. Yeah. Hand traps are blockers, though.
Sure.
Okay. Look at the top. So it's like you get Swift Scarecrow in Battle Fader, but like you don't get anything else.
I haven't heard that name in years. Anyway.
Look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 3 or less unit from among them, call it to your rear guard, and then shuffle the deck. But it's only when it's placed on your Vanguard. So it's like you only place it on your Vanguard like once or when you have multiple copies of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you have 5 or more units, your opponent chooses a card from their hand and discards it. Nice. I like discard. Auto Vanguard, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, you can Blue Blast, choose one of your rear guards with Mythiarch and its card name, return it to hand, choose up to 1 unit card with Mythiarch in its different card name from the card returned by this effect from hand, and call it to your rear guard. Whoa! So this kind of swappity-swappities. Nice. I like that. Alright, let's look at the next card in the Mythiarch. Mythiarchetype.
Yeah, these guys are a little silly looking, I will admit. Case in point, this next one.
Okay, this came straight out of Madagascar. The movie. This is 2 grade Intercept 5000. Auto, when this unit is placed on the rear guard, if you have 3 or more units with Mythiarch in their card name, this unit gets plus 5,000 until end of the turn. Then you can Soul Blast, Red Blast, detach one, right? Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and that unit can't untap during its opponent's next standby phase. Oh, wow. Okay, this is blue. This is blue in Magic, for sure.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, act rear guard once per turn. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Mythiarch in its card name, see if the Mythiarch. Let's see if the Mythiarch is grade 3 here. It is grade 3. You can bind a rear guard with Mythiarch and its different card name from this unit, and call the card bound for this cost to the rear guard.
So like you're blinking it, sort of.
Yeah, yeah, okay. This is definitely blue. Oh, and it's working. Oh, I get it. Can you blink your Vanguard?
No.
Okay.
Because this is a rear guard.
Okay. I see a lot of like, oh, when this is placed on the rear guard. Oh, like when it enters the battlefield, do this. And then you can like bind it and then unbind it basically. It's like, oh, exile it, bring it back, trigger it again. When it's used, because it doesn't say once per turn on the first effect. When it's placed, if you have 3 or more units with Mythiarch in their card name, it gets plus 5,000. So you can like, not that you would like want to blink this after it already has 5,000, but can you attack again after you do that actually?
So this one is an act, so it can only do it in the main phase.
Oh, but you can't. It's not like Yu-Gi-Oh or Hearthstone where you can like attack and then do a main phase action and then attack with something else.
No, there is like a battle phase in this game.
Got it. Okay, let's look at the last card in this blue blink archetype. Okay, let's see if this one has Twin Drive. It does not have Twin Drive. Interesting. Mythiarch Guardian Delphina. 2 grade Intercept. Auto rear guard once per turn. At the end of the battle, your Vanguard... Wait, what? At the end of the battle, your Vanguard with Mythiarch in its card... That's a weird English right there.
It's a lot, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read this again. At the end of the battle, your Vanguard with Mythiarch and its card name attacked a grade 3 or greater unit. You can detach one, untap this unit, and it gets plus 10,000 to end the turn. Got through that one. That seems good. Let's see. Let's say your Vanguard with Mythiarch attacks a grade 3 unit. This can trigger, and at the end of that battle, you can detach one, and then... Or no, you can detach one, and then untap this unit, and it gets plus 7,000. So the play pattern of this would be like, you attack with this, and then you attack with the Vanguard, and then you Soul Blast, and then you untap this, it goes to 20, and you can attack again, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. As long as I'm getting the pattern there. Auto rearguard at the end of your turn. If you have 3 or more units with Mythiarch in their card names, retire this unit. Choose a card from your drop with Mythiarch in its card name that's different from this card and put it into the hand. Do you have to do that?
No. So in this game, if you ever see a cost on a card, it is optional.
Okay. End of turn. If 3 or more units with Mythiarch in their card names, retire this. Choose a card from your drop with Mythiarch that's different from this, add it to your hands. The fact that it does this ability, it's a good attacker, and it also has shield, like, that seems like it's pretty good. Okay. I think this archetype, I mean, I like this archetype too. It seems like a little bit of blue going on there, a little bit of blinky stuff, a little bit of ETB, a little bit enter the battlefield trigger stuff. It seems like it's very toolboxy in the things that you can do. If you want to, a lot of ways you can build this. You can build it to like blink a bunch of stuff, or you can blink it to like play a whole bunch of these and do a bunch of combat damage. You can also persona ride the Louru, and it looks at the top 7 cards of your deck, which is a lot. And then you can just like special summon one of them with raid 3 or less. So it's like there's a lot of card selection. And then there's a lot of cards that can like return back to hand, return to hand from the graveyard, put it into play with the Louru, and then like keep doing that, blink it. Like there's a lot of like lines of play which you can do in this, which like feels like a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. So I'm gonna say this deck's pretty good. Let's still like a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. Let's go ahead and go to the next province.
Okay. So this is a Japanese card game.
Uh-oh.
We always have to have the obligatory anime girl nation.
Uh-oh, here we go. This is the second to last archetype we're going through?
Correct. We're almost done.
Okay. This one is Gorgon Eyes Siana. This is a grade 3 twin drive persona ride continuous. If your opponent's guard and front row rear guard have a total of 2 or less units, this unit gets +1 critical and +1 drive. Ooh. Wow. Okay. Auto Vanguard, when this unit is attacked, put a trigger unit from hand into your soul. A trigger. What's a trigger unit? Just a unit with a trigger?
Trigger units are the cards you want to drive check to get like crits and draw and stuff. They're called triggers.
We haven't seen that any of those yet, have we?
Nah, because they're all like the same in every. They're literally all the same in every deck.
Okay.
So.
Let's see. And this unit gets plus 15,000 to end of that battle, so it's like goes to 28, so it's like hard to kill, right? Like it's hard to deal damage to this deck, right? If it's always 28. That's kind of crazy. It lets your triggers become blockers, which is pretty cool. Kind of in a way.
Well, so your most triggers in this game have 15k shield inherently, but draw triggers and a couple other ones only have like 5k shield.
Okay, so it can make your 5k shield into a 15, kind of, but if you want it to. Okay. Auto Vanguard, at the end of the battle, this unit was attacked by a rear guard. If no cards are put on the guard this battle, your opponent chooses a card from their hand and they may discard it. If they did not discard a card, bind the rear guard that attacked. Wow, this seems like a control deck. It seems like, yeah, it just seems like a control deck. Like, oh, it's hard to damage me, but also you have to discard a card, and if you don't, you exile your card. This seems like a control deck, which I kind of like control decks. So let's go ahead and go to the second card in this archetype. Jack of Parade Theretheus?
Yeah.
Kind of? Okay. Or Therethes?
Yeah. Close enough.
Okay. Wow. The names of these are... They ran out of ideas for names. And they're like, let's just put random consonants and vowels together and pronounce them. Okay. 2 grade, intercept, 5,000 shield. Auto, when this unit is placed on your rear guard, choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards and you may return it to the hand. Auto, rear guard, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have a Vanguard with Siana in the card name, you can Blue Blast, and this unit gets plus 5,000 until end of that battle. For each of your opponent's open front row rear guards, if it gets plus 10,000 or greater, draw a card. If your opponent has 3, and then you bounce 1, it gets plus 10,000 to 20,000, and then you also draw a card. For a 2 grade, this seems like really good. It bounces your opponent's thing, it gets powerful, and draws cards. Oh, man. Okay, I think that's really good. Let's go to the last card in this archetype. This is Wonderful Wand Ruboa. You see what I mean about the consonants and vowels?
Yeah.
They just do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Grade 1. This is the first grade 1, the second grade 1 card I've seen. Grade 1 boost.
Yeah.
What is a boost?
So if it's in your back row, and if it's in your back row 3 zones, when the thing in front of it attacks, you can also tap this card to add its power to the thing that is in front of it.
Oh, cool. This is like one of the only setup cards we've seen so far. I think it has only 8,000 power. It boosts your other stuff. It's a one grade. Okay. Auto. When this unit is placed on rear guard, choose one of your opponent's front rear guards, and you may return it to hand. This deck seems so annoying to play against. Like, try to keep anything in play. Like, bouncing things to hand is like a little bit weird because everything's free. So it's like,
and you can guard with them.
Yeah. So yeah, and everything's free and you can guard with them. So it's like if they're not like a anyway, unless they have like a triggered ability on the board that is like actually a hindrance to you, bouncing can be good. But if they don't, then it could be bad for you to bounce the thing. I don't know. Auto rear guard when your grade 3 is greater. When your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Siana and its card name attacks or is attacked, put this into Soul. Choose one of your Vanguards. It gets plus 10,000 to Okay. I'm gonna say this card's like a control deck. You can probably like even like soak up so much damage that you can like deck your opponent out, keep bouncing your opponent's stuff, and then like it's gonna be hard. I feel like it's so hard to get to this deck's life total. Like bouncing stuff. It also kind of bounce stuff on your opponent's turn, like when they go to attack, and then like gets rid of your opponent's stuff while they're attacking. If they can't get through, I feel like there's one card that does that. What does that? Forgot. I think the leader does that. Siana, when this unit is attacked, put a trigger unit from hand, and this gets plus 5,000 at the end of the battle. End of the battle, this unit was attacked by a rear guard. If no cards are put into a guard this battle, your opponent chooses a card from their hand and discard it. If they don't discard it, bind the rear guard that attack. That's what I'm talking about. So it's like they kind of have to discard a card, because if they don't, they just lose the card they attacked with, and this doesn't take any. You don't take any damage, right? Is that how I'm reading that?
No. So whether this card takes damage or not, as long as you didn't physically put a card onto the Guardian Circle to guard, it'll trigger that effect.
Right, so I'm talking about your opponent's card. Like, if your opponent chooses not to discard a card, it binds the rear guard that attacked. Does the binding happen before damage?
Binding, it says at the end of the battle.
Oh, okay. Sorry, forgot about that.
Yeah.
So it technically would, but maybe it wouldn't because this thing's at like 28,000 power. Because you increase it by 15,000 power by putting a trigger from the hand into the soul, and you can like get this.
Yeah, that's important because it's not. That's important because it's not actually putting the card onto the Guardian Circle. It's putting it in your soul, so you can kind of like guard without needing to use the zone that you guard with.
Right. So that's why I'm saying like this deck is gonna be like so hard to just get damage in unless you have like 3,000 attack or 30,000 attack. I don't even know how prevalent that is. Like if it's common to have 30,000 attack, is it common?
That is one of the numbers you hope your deck can reach to put pressure on your opponent. So I think a lot of decks try to get that.
Okay, but I'm like this deck can probably just get over that. Like, oh, put something in the soul, and then I'll also guard, and like it's just over 30,000 right away.
And then there's also cards that I won't show you because they don't really do much for this, but they're like the order cards, like that one order card I showed you. There is a type of order card that you can play in the timing that you would guard, that you can guard with, essentially.
Oh,
it just gives the Vanguard like power, yeah.
So for this deck being like a control deck and kind of like bouncing your opponent's stuff, it also gets extra critical if your opponent's guard and front row have a total of 2 or less units. Like, yes, bouncing your opponent's things could be bad, but you don't want them to have a lot of units anyway, so you just keep bouncing their stuff. They replay the stuff, you bounce it again, you get an extra drive and an extra crit. So and every time you drive, you draw a card. So like it refills the hand to like keep on doing the 15,000 thing, and it's also kind of hard to attack this, or at least annoying to attack this with more than one thing a turn. And then you draw cards and then deal extra critical and I mean, I feel like this is just like a really good control deck. I mean, I feel like all of these are good. Like, you've got to give me like one of the bad ones, right? Like, I feel like every single one of these is good. Let's go ahead and go to the last one, and then I'll try to like see what my favorite one is, and then also tell you what the best one is, I think.
So this one is the closest I can relate to a color. This is like basically white in Magic. White specifically in how white likes to get out a lot of cheap units.
Okay.
Cheap cards. And this is also the most recent deck that has come out.
Ooh, helping me. Okay. I'm going to have to metagame that. there's no metagaming on this channel, but you just metagame for me.
It only means so much, really, but...
Okay. This is Fated One of Miracles Resel. 3 grade, Twin Drive, Persona Ride, Auto, Vanguard. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you can Blue Blast. Choose up to 2 cards from your drop with different grades and a total grade less than or equal to the number of cards in your damage zone, and call them... Oh my god, it's special summons from the grave? That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Divine Skill. What's a Divine Skill?
So this is a skill. It also has a reminder. Actually, just read it, because it does have reminder text at the end.
Okay. Divine Skill. Act, Vanguard. You can detach one from the soul. Return all critical from the drop to the deck and shuffle. Triggers. Okay, I haven't seen that symbol yet. Return all triggers from your drop to the deck and shuffle it. Okay. This unit gets drive +1 till end of turn. Okay. Until end of this fight, so not the battle phase, just this one battle. You can...
No, fight is the whole game.
Oh my god, okay. Oh wow. Until the end of the game, you cannot ride units without Resel on its card name. Wow. That seems bad. And you get, when your damage check reveals a trigger unit other than whatever that is.
Heal. That's the heal symbol.
When your damage check reveals a trigger unit other than heal, if your damage zone has 5 or more cards, choose a card from your damage zone, heal it, and you lose this ability. What? You lose what ability?
The ability it gave you, which is the red text.
Oh. What you may only use divine skills
trigger once.
A total of once per game among all of your cards. Wow. Return all... So you just use all of your triggers throughout the whole game. Use them, and you don't have heal triggers in your deck because it doesn't work with this. And then you just use all, like, combat triggers and, like, whatever other triggers. And you just use them all. And then you do this. And then you shuffle them all back. It gets drive +1 till end of turn. And then you can't ride units without Resel on its card name. That's fine, whatever. You play 4 Resel and they have Persona Ride anyway. And then you don't get this ability for the rest of the game, but you just shuffled like every trigger into the deck. So whenever your opponent attacks you, you're like, your deck is so like gummed up with the triggers that they're always gonna hit a trigger now. And like that's pretty busted if you're always gonna hit a trigger. Or like at least 60% of the time or whatever, hit a trigger, 40% of the time, whatever the number is, after you've used them all, and then shuffled them back into your deck. It's like a bigger concentration of them in your deck is what I'm trying to say. And like maybe some of the triggers that you're playing in your deck are like really good. So your opponent's like super annoyed by that. Okay, I can see this card being good. Alright, let's see the next card in this archetype. Knight of Gentle Beauty, Nobia. 2 grade, intercept, 5,000. Auto, when this unit is placed on your rear guard, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Resel on its card name, you can Blue Blast. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 grade 3 or less card from among them, call it to your rear guard, and put the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. If it's your battle phase, reveal it and put it into your hand instead of calling it. Okay, I like that. It's a 2-drop, a 2 grade that you can special summon stuff, and you can like kind of cheat on mana, right? Because it's turn 2. You can do this and then put a 3 into play, so you're getting a 3 into play a turn sooner than you would normally be able to, right?
Well, the qualifier for this ability is that you needed to have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard.
Oh, just kidding. Can't do that. Don't mind me.
Yeah.
Auto, rear guard, when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Resel on the card name, you can Red Blast 1, and this unit gets plus 10,000 to it. So it's pumped itself. It's also a... I feel like the cards that can gain a lot of attack, but also have intercept, are like really good cards. It's like kind of multifaceted, and I like that. But this says when it's placed on the rear guard, you can kind of special summon 1. Alright, that's cool. right, let's see the last card in this archetype. Oh, I like the art of this one.
It's a very good boy.
Good boy. All right. This is the consonant vowel thing again. Sergon?
Yep.
What? What do you say?
It's Sargon. Yeah.
That's
Weird.
annoying. Okay.
Yeah.
Grade 1 boost. Got it. So it's a boost and a shield. Auto. Rear guard. When this unit boosts, if you have more rear guards than your opponent, or you played an order this turn, this unit gets plus 5,000 until the end of that battle. At the end of that battle, retire this unit, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose a card from among them, put it in your hand, and then put the rest on the bottom of the deck. So this boosts, and then it cycles. Basically. Cycles to the top 2 cards of your deck. It boosts and cycles. Oh! That's cool, because it works with your commander. I mean your Vanguard.
Not close enough. They're basically commanders.
So when this attacks, when the Fated One of Miracles, when the big Resel attacks a Vanguard, you can Blue Blast and choose 2 cards from the drop with different grades, and a total grade less than or equal to the number of cards in your damage zone, less than or equal to the number of cards in your damage zone. Let's say you have like 3 in your damage zone, and you can bring like a 1 and a 2 back and call them to your rear guard, so you can like bring the Knight of Gentle Beauty Nobia and the Sergon, the good boy, back over and over and over and over again, and keep boosting, and you sack it, look at the top 2, draw a card, or get a card out of them, sack it, get a card, bring it back, sack it, get a card. I see what this is trying to do. And then well, you can bring the Knight of Gentle Beauty Nobia back on the board, and this auto triggers when it's placed on the rear guard if you have rear grade or Vanguard or Resel on the card name. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, use it to grade 3 or less. Oh my god, this is like an infinite value engine. That's kind of crazy. I love this. So I'm getting it, right? I'm getting what this deck's trying to do.
Yeah, his deck draws a lot of cards.
Yeah, you do that.
It wants to go through its deck really quickly,
Yeah.
so you can do that.
You do that. You bring the 2 back if you have 3 damage. Bring the 2 back. They both trigger. This looks at the top 3 cards and choose a grade 3 or less and special summon it. And then the other one gets to look at the top 2 and get a card. And then you can use the boost again. And then you can shield with this from the board. Okay, you use the boost.
Only grade 2s can do that.
This is a grade 2 though. The Knight of Gentle Beauty.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the dog.
Oh no, not the dog. You sack the dog, and then you sack the knight to shield to intercept, because you just do that because you want to trigger it again from the Resel. Is that what it's called, Resel? Yeah, from the Resel. So you sack the knight to shield, even if it's like not even that good to shield, and then you on your turn you boost the dog, put it in the graveyard, look at the top 2, and then bring them back, and then you look at the top 2, draw a card, and then look at the top 3, put it special summon. Oh my god. Okay, I think this is broken. Okay, let's evaluate. We've done all 18, haven't we?
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
So the first one was the Mrs. Twin Drive, Fountain of Knowledge Eva. This one I like because it searches your deck with Obscudate in the card name, and you just special summon from deck, and this is like the only card that has special summon from the deck, which is like crazy, and its once per turn effect also adds to your hand. So like the fact that you add 2 cards from your hand from your Vanguard, I think is really good. I think the best deck out of all of these, I think, is the first one you showed me, the Eva deck. I think the second best deck is the Resel deck. I think the third best deck is let's see. I think the third best deck is, hold on, I'm reading a lot. I think the third best deck is the Scarlet Flame Martial Dragon Gandiva deck, because killing stuff over and over again seems like kind of broken. I think the next best deck is the Control deck, because you get to keep on like interacting with your opponent's board over and over again. It's hard to kill, super annoying, and also gains extra power when you do that. So like you're interacting with your opponent, and then you hit them like with pretty big attack. Triple drive, draw 3, double crit seems like really good, and then it's also just really annoying to kill. And the next best deck is the blue deck, the one that's like the Altaria, the one that kind of like goes back and forth between like all of your stuff, has a lot of ETB triggers, really toolboxy. I like that. And that's the next best. The worst deck out of all of them, unfortunately, is the Diabolos Unrivaled Bruce deck.
Okay.
Now,
your final answer?
Those are my final answers, and you're going to tell me that I'm super wrong. Okay, let's see how many I got right.
Okay.
Tell me how good these are. And
okay.
And try to be like as succinct as possible. We're already over an hour.
Okay, yeah. So Ava is
The one I said was the best deck.
pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not the best one, but it is pretty good.
Crap. Okay, pretty good though.
It does get a lot of advantage. It does get a lot of advantage, and it does have good pressure, but that's kind of all it does. What was it? The Gondiva. Gondiva is the only deck I've shown you that has not a banned card, but a limited card in it.
Gondiva.
That grade 3 I showed you.
The one I said was the third best
that
deck.
grade 3. Yes. That grade 3 I showed you, that can like bind a thing face down and bind something else face down and all that stuff. That card is at 1 right now.
What, the
Because
Scarlet
Soul
Flame Bow
is
General?
Yeah, Sturgna. Because Soul is a resource that your opponent can't really interact with. They can control how much damage you have for like counterblasts and stuff, but this one you can do like immediately when you get to turn 3, and if you have like 4 copies of this card in your hand, you can play them all, and you can turbo up your bind zone like super fast, and it's annoying.
So the Gondiva deck's the best deck?
I would say it's the second best.
Second best deck, okay.
And then Ava is the third best deck.
Okay, so
The
I'm kind of like
fourth best deck, I'm
evaluating
doing
like
this-
a little bit correctly, because not 100% correct, but like I can recognize which ones are good, I think. Well, I mean, so far.
You're pretty close. So I'm not saying the best one until last for dramatic effect. So the fourth best deck is, I'd say, is Mythiarch. The grade 2 I showed you is actually a card it very recently got that gives it 5 attacks because it could only really get 4. And the discarding can be kind of annoying and all that. Its issue is that it doesn't build a board. That was its only thing. It just doesn't really build a board that well. The fifth best one is definitely Bruce. If he can get to turn 4, that is 6 swings. One of them being with your Vanguard again, which is very powerful. Getting 2 Vanguard swings is very powerful.
Okay.
So, and then the worst deck, unfortunately, is the control deck. It seems really good, and that is the only one I can say I kind of tricked you with. But the fact that it says like your opponent's guard needs to have 2 or less cards, that is so in your opponent's hands that it's pretty easy to play around, unfortunately. So you just put 2 cards on the guard circle, it loses its crit and its drive.
But
Just
this deck
immediately.
also has like bounce cards, right?
It has bounce cards, and it references that your opponent's front row needs to be empty, but it also says that your opponent's guardian circle needs to have 1 or less cards.
Okay.
And your opponent can fill that up immediately when this card attacks. So
Okay, true. Dang, I thought the
the
control
first
was
best
super
deck.
annoying.
it is annoying, but it's not good enough to like
Okay.
really win a game. It does a lot not dying, but not enough of killing.
Right, okay.
And then I'd say from all these, Resel is the best deck.
Dude, when I was going
just
like
has-
crazy over over the loops, you're like, all right, fine, it gets it. Like,
yeah. I picked these 2 specifically because I feel like it made it click the best, but also, it's weird because this is the best deck out of all the ones I've shown you. It is by no means the best deck we have right now because it does draw a lot of cards, but like, it doesn't. Somehow it still doesn't kill your opponent. Like you'll have 15 cards in your hand and you still haven't killed your opponent somehow because your numbers just aren't big enough. But it is really good. It is really good, bordering on broken, I think.
okay, I'm glad I kind of caught on. The only reason why I thought that the first deck was kind of broken is because it's the only deck you showed me that actually searched your deck, and it's just like special summons from the deck, and which is like super busted. And the fact that the Eva like gains 2 cards per turn, or has the ability to gain 2 cards per turn, was really good. I wasn't like super impressed with Knight of Blackness and the result of the experiment henceforth, but I still thought they were like good enough cards to make Eva really good if you can search whatever you want. So, which is why I thought that was the best deck. But out of the ones you showed me, but Resel is one of my favorites. But I have to tell you, my favorite is probably Gandiva for sure. My favorite.
Very beginner friendly deck, also very cheap. Gandiva himself is like maybe like $5 or something.
The whole deck? All right, I'm in. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, not the whole deck. Whole deck's maybe like 30 or something, but
True.
which is still kind of crazy when you look at like other card games.
Oh yeah, super crazy. All right, cool. Well, thank you for showing me these cards. And wow, there's a lot to read. So this video is already like borderline a super long video, but it's okay. I'm happy to have you back next month. You have 1 video per month, I believe. for your Patreon tier.
Sure.
So if you'd like to evaluate Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Pokemon cards or whatever, feel free to do that. Or I can even do more Vanguard cards. That'll be cool too. We're doing a little bit of a code change as well. You can use code TheOneJame by clicking the link down in the description below for Prodigy Games. We're changing it from Jame7 to TheOneJame because I feel like TheOneJame is just a better code. You can just use my whole name instead of having to memorize a number. Click the link down below in the description to get 5% off of literally anything in the store. Click the link down below. We will see you next time. Thank you once again for coming on the show and doing Vanguard with me, and I'll see you again next time. And as always, peace.